The movie begins with a high school literature teacher named Claire. She's shown jogging while reflecting on the events of the past few months when she discovered her husband Garrett's affair with his secretary. Garrett had been deceiving her, claiming he was traveling to San Francisco for work, but in reality, he was meeting up with his mistress. When Claire found out about his infidelity, she decided to separate from him. Later, Claire visits her friend Vicky and talks to her about her relationship with Garrett, admitting she feels he's remorseful, has changed, and wants to come back to her. However, Vicky strongly opposes Claire taking Garrett back and warns her against it. That same day, Garrett visits Claire to see their son, Kevin. It becomes apparent that Claire and Garrett's relationship is improving to the point where they even discuss going on a camping trip together as a family. Claire agrees, but she later discovers that Garrett plans to travel to San Francisco for work before the trip. This raises her suspicions that he's still seeing his secretary. Distrustful, she decides to back out of the camping trip, telling Kevin to go on his own with his father. She then locks herself in the bathroom and cries. The next day, Claire takes Kevin to see a renowned doctor for his rare allergy condition. While opening the garage door, it breaks, and she struggles to lift it herself. Just then, a strong young man steps in to help. He introduces himself as Noah. At the same time, her elderly neighbor appears and explains that Noah is his nephew, who will be staying with him for a while to look after him following a surgery he's about to undergo. Noah notices that the garage door needs fixing and offers to help. Claire agrees, and Noah takes Kevin with him to buy the necessary tools. While shopping, Kevin talks to Noah and learns that he's 20 years old but still in his last year of high school due to an accident that disrupted his studies. At the store, Kevin spots a girl he has a crush on working there. He asks Noah to handle the checkout so he doesn't have to face her, but Noah encourages him to go talk to her instead. Kevin gathers his courage and approaches her, but things go wrong when his classmates arrive, mocking him because of his allergy condition. Humiliated, Kevin leaves the store feeling upset and embarrassed in front of the girl he likes. Meanwhile, Noah's uncle talks to Claire about Noah's life, explaining that he lost both his parents in a car accident last year and has been all alone since then, with no family left except for his uncle. When Noah returns, he fixes the garage door, but Claire notices that Kevin seems down. Noah tells her what happened at the store, and Claire explains Kevin's rare allergy condition, which forces him to carry an allergy shot at all times. She shares how this has made Kevin a target for bullying by his peers but asks Noah not to let Kevin know he's aware of his condition, so he doesn't feel ashamed. From that day on, Kevin grows closer to Noah, and they become friends. Kevin spends a lot of time with Noah, who teaches him how to fix cars, one of Noah's favorite hobbies. One day, Claire invites Noah to lunch along with her friend Vicky, who works with her at the school. During their conversation, Noah learns that Claire will be teaching English literature at the start of the new term. Excited, Noah discusses literature with Claire, sharing his enthusiasm for famous authors and their works. For the first time in a long while, Claire finds someone who shares her passion for literature, and she feels genuinely happy while talking to him. The next day, Garrett comes to take Kevin on a 3-day camping trip. Claire seems sad because she'll be alone at home without her son. During this time, Noah visits her at the house and gifts her a literary work by her favorite author. Although hesitant at first, Noah insists until she accepts the gift. Noah notices another gift from a neighbor to Claire, a pair of high-heeled shoes. He tells her she doesn't need something like that because she's beautiful as she is. Claire is moved by Noah's compliment, and his mature demeanor, which is beyond his years, grabs her attention. She starts to feel attracted to him, even watching him from her bedroom window. However, when she senses Noah noticing her, she quickly hides. Later, Claire meets her friend Vicky, who had set her up on a dinner date with one of her husband's friends. However, Claire discovers that the man is arrogant and belittles her work and love for literature. She apologizes, leaves the dinner, and walks away, clearly rejecting him. The next day, Noah calls Claire and tells her that his uncle has been hospitalized and that he's trying to prepare dinner for himself but is struggling. He asks her to come and help him. Claire agrees and goes over to prepare food for him. During this time, Noah takes the opportunity to flirt with her, which makes Claire uncomfortable, and she tries to leave. But Noah stops her, confessing that he knows she's attracted to him since he saw her watching him through the window. He also admits that he's attracted to her. Despite Claire's initial resistance, Noah's charm overcomes her hesitation, and she ends up spending the day with him. The next morning, Claire wakes up shocked by what happened the previous night. When she sees Noah, she tells him it was a mistake on her part because she's older and should have stopped it. Noah gets upset, hitting the wall angrily, and tells her it wasn't a mistake for him because he genuinely loves her. When Claire rejects his feelings, Noah storms out of the house. Days pass, and Claire seems extremely nervous about what happened. Her anxiety worsens when Noah shows up at her house again, meeting Garrett and playing with Claire's emotions. Noah teases her, suggesting she should tell them what happened during their absence. Claire deflects the conversation by talking about a storm that hit the city. The day ends peacefully without Noah revealing anything. Later that night, Garrett brings up the idea of reconciling with Claire. This time, Claire seems open to the idea but asks for some time to think. Meanwhile, Noah watches them from his bedroom window. The next day marks the beginning of the school year. Noah introduces himself to the other students as a new transfer, and the tension between the characters continues to escalate, making Claire and Noah's complicated relationship even more dramatic. After that, Claire goes to speak with the principal and tells him that Noah is in the back row while she is teaching first grade, and having him in her class won't benefit him. The principal responds by saying that his transfer request was based on her approval. When she checks the transfer request, she discovers it was sent from her school email, leaving her in shock. When she gets home, she confirms that the request was indeed sent from her email. When she asks her son Kevin about it, he denies sending anything. Claire becomes anxious, but things take a more complicated turn when Kevin tells her that Noah asked to have dinner with them that night. She tells him to decline the invitation, explaining that Garrett will be joining them for a family evening. At that moment, Noah is standing outside, overhearing their entire conversation. Later, when he is training Kevin in shooting practice, Noah starts talking to him about his relationship with his father. Since Kevin had previously confided in him about the issues that led to his parents' separation, Noah uses this information to try and ruin the relationship between Kevin and his father. Noah tells Kevin that Garrett is a cruel father because he abandoned his family for 9 months without checking in on them and was the reason his mother's mental health deteriorated, taking months for her to recover. He adds that Garrett returned and simply bought Kevin a computer as a gift to make up for everything, ignoring all the damage he caused. Kevin is deeply affected by Noah's words, and resentment toward his father starts to build, which becomes apparent when they have dinner together. During dinner, Garrett asks Kevin about the computer lessons he's taking at school and whether the computer he bought for him has been helpful. Kevin lashes out, accusing his father of being distant and uninterested in his life changes. He then declares that he has decided to join the boxing team and storms out of the room angrily. Claire is left puzzled by Kevin's sudden change in behavior. The next day, Kevin joins the boxing team, and Noah sees an opportunity to provoke him further. He manipulates Kevin into believing that his father will influence his mother's decisions and convince her to take him back. This angers Kevin, driving him to train with all his strength until he collapses due to an asthma attack. Fortunately, Noah manages to save him by quickly administering his asthma injection. At the same time, Claire receives a bouquet of flowers in her office at school and assumes it's from Garrett. She calls to thank him, but he denies sending them. Later, Claire realizes that the flowers were sent by Noah, prompting her to confront him at the boxing gym. She warns him that his reckless actions could jeopardize her job. Noah proposes that they start fresh and forget about the past. Claire reluctantly agrees but continues to keep her distance from him. That evening, Claire goes out with Garrett, and due to the late hour, he stays over at her house. Noah sees Garrett's car outside and becomes furious. The following day, Noah confronts Claire, accusing her of lying and claiming she's been avoiding him just to get back together with her cheating husband. Claire tries to ignore him and tells Kevin to stay away from Noah, but Kevin refuses, believing Noah's claim that his father is manipulating his mother. This leads to an argument between Kevin and Claire. Kevin storms out of the house and rides with Noah, who declares that this is the start of a war against Claire. At school, Kevin gets bullied by the same students again, but this time, Noah steps in and defends him with extreme violence, injuring one of the students so severely that he ends up with a fractured skull. Principal Vicky takes Noah to her office and confronts him, revealing that she has discovered he was expelled from his previous school for violent behavior. Noah responds by insulting her, calling her a lonely old woman with no purpose, before storming out. Meanwhile, Kevin convinces his mother to allow Noah to be his partner for the school dance. On the day of the event, Claire learns about an issue in the restroom. When she goes to check, she is shocked to find that Noah has written a confession on the wall about the night they spent together. Noah is waiting for her in the restroom and tells her he could expose her, but he doesn't want things to escalate because he loves her and wants to be with her. Claire hits him and warns him that she isn't afraid of him or his confessions, asserting that no one would believe him. She threatens him, making it clear that he should never come near her again. The next day, when Claire goes to school and enters the classroom, she's shocked when she finds pictures of herself with Noah spread everywhere in the room. She quickly locks the door and takes down all the pictures before the students arrive. The principal arrives and opens the door right as Claire is taking down the last picture. Fortunately, no one notices what happened. Meanwhile, Kevin is out with his dad, who decides to teach him how to drive, but Kevin realizes that Noah taught him how to drive professionally. Kevin appears frustrated and gets mad at his dad for everything that's happened. In his anger, he speeds up the car and, when he tries to stop, he discovers the brakes don't work. To stop the car, he crashes into water barriers on the road, destroying the car. When Claire returns and sees the car, she worries about her neighbor and her son. She goes to check on them and tries to act like everything's fine, but Noah sneaks into the kitchen and asks if she liked the surprise he set up for her in the classroom. He reveals that he has more than just pictures. He has a full video of everything that happened between them. He threatens to send the video to Garrett, Kevin, and the whole school if she doesn't do what he wants. He tells her that he'll win tonight at his house. That night, Claire goes to his house to talk to him, and Noah apologizes. He says he didn't mean to threaten her, and that he only filmed the video to prove his love for her. He tells her that he won't leave her no matter what. Claire tricks him, hits him, and leaves. Claire then decides to confess everything to her friend Vicky so she can help. Vicky makes a plan for Claire to erase the video and takes Claire's car to drive it far from her house, knowing that Noah is watching her. However, while Noah is chasing Claire's car, he realizes Vicky is the one in the car, so he changes his route and heads back home quickly. Meanwhile, Claire sneaks into Noah's house and searches until she finds the camera he used to film her. She discovers that he hid it inside a watch. Claire calls Vicky and tells her that Noah has figured out their plan and is coming back home. But Claire doesn't give up and continues searching the house until she reaches the basement. When she opens it, she's stunned to find a huge picture of herself along with many other pictures of different girls. At that moment, she realizes Noah is mentally ill. She erases the file with her name from his laptop, but while doing so, she finds detailed pictures of her neighbor's car and another car from a 2006 model. She realizes that the accident involving her neighbor's car was caused by Noah, who had sabotaged the brakes. Claire manages to escape just in time before Noah arrives and calls Vicky to tell her what she discovered. Vicky tells her that her husband's friend is the investigator who is working on the case of Noah's family's death, and Claire can ask him for information about the accident. Feeling nervous and scared, Claire asks Vicky if she can stay in a hotel far from her house. Just as Vicky hangs up with Claire, Noah sneaks into Vicky's house and hits her on the head. Claire later learns from the investigator that the accident was caused by an explosion in the car, making it impossible to determine the exact cause. However, they suspected the driver was drunk because of his history of drunk driving reports. When Claire asks about the car model, she learns it's a 2006 model, confirming that Noah was behind the death of his family. Claire calls Vicky to tell her what she discovered. At that moment, Noah ties up Vicky and listens to Claire's call. He plays a recording of Vicky telling Claire to come to her house quickly because she needs to talk to her. Then Noah calls Kevin and asks for his help, along with his dad, to fix Vicky's car. They find out that she's home. When Claire arrives at Vicky's house, she finds the lights off and the door open. She starts searching for her until she's shocked to find Vicky dead, having fallen from the second floor. Terrified, Claire runs outside and calls the police, but Noah catches up with her, takes her phone, and says he did it to protect her from Vicky's influence. Claire confronts him and tells him she knows all about his crimes and madness. Noah drags her to the garage, where she's shocked to find her neighbor and Kevin tied up. He tells her he will burn them all alive to start a new life with her. Noah pours gasoline everywhere in the garage. When Claire tries to stop him, he accidentally drops the lighter, setting the entire place on fire. In that moment, her neighbor manages to untie himself, punches Noah, and tells Claire to escape with Kevin. Claire hesitates to free Kevin, but Noah shoots her neighbor in the chest. He drags Claire away from her son, but Kevin manages to free himself after some struggle and hits Noah, who is much stronger than him. Kevin finally beats Noah. Claire then uses an allergy shot on Noah, injecting him in the eye. He screams in pain but doesn't give up and still threatens to kill Kevin. At the last moment, Claire tricks him and drops a heavy metal block on him, killing him. The police and fire department arrive just in time. Claire and Kevin, her son, leave with the injured neighbor, and they're all taken to the hospital. Finally, Claire is free from Noah's obsession and madness, which almost destroyed her life. And that's the end of today's movie. If you liked it, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.